Welcome! We have left the noise of the 21st century behind and traveled back through 27 centuries to stand here in the heart of ancient Greece. The marble beneath our feet once echoed with the footsteps of philosophers who questioned everything, of citizens who invented democracy, of artists who carved perfection from stone. Look at these columns rising around us, their fluted surfaces catching the Mediterranean light exactly as they did when Pericles walked these same paths. This is not a ruin. This is where Western civilization was born. Over the next 7 episodes, we will journey through the complete story of ancient Greece, from its very beginning to its enduring legacy. We start in 1600 BCE, when Bronze Age warriors built massive citadels with walls so huge the Greeks themselves later believed giants must have constructed them. We will witness the catastrophic collapse that plunged Greece into 4 centuries of darkness, then watch as 1,000 independent city-states emerged from those ashes like seeds scattered across the Mediterranean. We will stand on the battlefield at Marathon in 490 BCE, where outnumbered Athenian soldiers faced the Persian Empire and won. We will climb the Acropolis during the golden age of Pericles and watch the Parthenon rise, block by block, into the most perfect building ever constructed. We will explore how ordinary Greeks actually lived, what they ate, how they worshipped, what their homes looked like. And yes, the uncomfortable truth about slavery that made their democracy possible. We will see the devastating Peloponnesian War tear Greece apart, then watch as Alexander the Great spread Greek culture from Egypt to India. Finally, we will discover how Rome conquered Greece militarily, but became captive to Greek culture, carrying its philosophy, architecture, and political ideals into the foundations of our modern world. This is not just history. Every time you enter a building with columns, every time you use words like democracy, politics, theater, or philosophy, every time you question authority or seek truth through reason, you are living the Greek legacy. The question Socrates asked in the Athenian Agora 24 centuries ago, we still struggle to answer today. What is justice? What is the good life? How should free people govern themselves? Some of the greatest achievements in human history happened right here, in this small rocky peninsula jutting into the Aegean Sea. By the end of this series, you will understand not just what the Greeks accomplished, but how they did it, why it mattered, and why their civilization still shapes every aspect of our lives today. If you enjoy these complete journeys through ancient civilizations, please subscribe so you do not miss our next exploration. Each week we bring you the full story of a lost world, from its mysterious origins to its lasting impact on humanity. Now, let us begin our journey at the very beginning, in the age of bronze and fire, when the first Greeks built palaces that would become legends. The Aegean sun rises over a landscape transformed by human ambition. Around 1600 BCE, on the rocky hills of the Greek mainland, massive citadels begin to emerge, fortresses that will dominate the Mediterranean world for 4 centuries. At Mycenae, limestone blocks weighing several tons each lock together without mortar, forming walls so massive that later Greeks will believe only giants could have built them. Above the main entrance, 2 carved lions flank a central column, their heads now lost to time, but their bodies still guarding the passage into the citadel's heart. Inside these cyclopean walls, palace complexes sprawl across terraced courtyards. At Pylos, at Tiryns, at Mycenae itself, administrative centers coordinate the production of olive oil, the forging of bronze weapons, the weaving of textiles. Clay tablets inscribed with Linear B script, an early form of Greek, record every detail. So many tripod cauldrons, so many wheels for chariots, so many units of grain allocated to workers. The palace bureaucrats track sheep by the thousands, bronze by the talent, perfumed oil by the jar. In the shaft graves beneath Mycenae's citadel, golden death masks cover the faces of warrior kings. Beaten gold cups rest beside bronze daggers inlaid with scenes of lion hunts. These lords command trade networks stretching from Egypt's Nile Delta to Anatolia's western coast. Mycenaean pottery appears in settlements across the Mediterranean. Around 1450 BCE, Mycenaean warriors sailed to Crete and take control of the palace at Knossos, adopting its administrative systems and adapting its script to write their own Greek language. The treasury of Atreus, a tholos tomb built around 1250 BCE, demonstrates the civilization's architectural mastery. Its corbelled dome rises in precisely calculated rings of stone, creating a beehive chamber 13 meters high. The entrance passage, lined with massive blocks, leads into darkness where bronze-clad warriors once laid their dead surrounded by weapons and gold. Then, around 1200 BCE, fire sweeps through the palaces. At Pylos, the final Linear B tablets bake hard in the flames that destroy the archive, preserving records of preparations for defense, bronze being gathered, coastal watchers being posted. The preparations fail. Mycenae burns, Tiryns burns. Across Greece, the great citadels fall silent. Literacy vanishes with the palace scribes. Trade networks collapse. Population plummets. The Bronze Age world dies in ash and darkness, leaving only ruins and half-remembered legends of golden Mycenae and the ships that sailed to Troy. The survivors scatter into the hills. For generations after 1200 BCE, Greece empties. Villages shrink to hamlets, hamlets to abandoned stone circles overgrown with wild thyme. The great citadels stand silent, their cyclopean walls too massive to dismantle, too alien to inhabit. Population collapses by perhaps 70%. The palace scribes are gone, and with them, Linear B dies unread for 3,000 years. No one remembers how to write. Yet in the darkness, transformation begins. Around 1050 BCE, smiths discover they can work a new metal, iron harder than bronze, available in local deposits rather than distant trade routes. The first iron blades emerge from simple forges, crude compared to bronze but democratizing warfare. A farmer can now afford a weapon. Pottery changes too. The naturalistic dolphins and octopi of Mycenaean vases give way to stark geometric patterns, abstract meanders and triangles painted in precise bands around clay vessels. By 900 BCE, these geometric designs dominate, covering funeral amphorae with rigid patterns that somehow express order imposed on chaos. The ruins themselves become sacred. At Mycenae's destroyed palace, people begin leaving offerings, small bronze figurines, pottery cups, at what they believe are heroes' tombs. They no longer understand the Linear B tablets scattered in the rubble, but they remember something happened here, something glorious. Hero cults emerge at Bronze Age sites across Greece, worshipping half-mythical warrior kings. The past becomes legend. In firelit halls, singers preserve memories in verse. The oral tradition that will become Homer's epics takes shape during these centuries. Formulaic phrases, repeated epithets, rhythmic hexameters that help bards remember thousands of lines. Quote 0, quote 1, quote 2, the poetry of memory. These songs blend garbled Bronze Age details with Dark Age realities, creating a mythic past of golden palaces and bronze-clad heroes sailing to Troy. By 800 BCE, recovery accelerates, population rebounds. Simple stone temples replace the elaborate palaces, rectangular buildings with wooden columns, nothing like the Bronze Age grandeur, but permanent, communal, sacred. Villages grow into towns. The polis begins to emerge, not yet the democratic city-state, but a community centered on a fortified height, an acropolis with farmland spreading below. Then, around 800 BCE, Greeks encounter Phoenician merchants who possess something revolutionary: an alphabet. Unlike Linear B's hundreds of syllabic signs, this system uses just 22 letters. Greeks adapt it, adding vowels, creating a tool anyone can learn. The first scratched inscriptions appear on pottery, names, dedications, crude verses. Literacy returns, but transformed, no longer the monopoly of palace scribes, but potentially available to any citizen. In 776 BCE, according to later tradition, Greeks gather at Olympia for the first organized athletic games, a festival sacred to Zeus that transcends local rivalries. The Dark Ages end not with sudden light, but gradual dawn, iron replacing bronze, geometry replacing naturalism, alphabet replacing memory, polis replacing palace. From 4 centuries of darkness, a new Greece emerges, one that will ask questions the Bronze Age never imagined. By 750 BCE, the rocky peninsulas and island chains can no longer contain Greek ambition. Population surges, arable land grows scarce, and younger sons inherit nothing. Ships depart harbors across the Aegean, carrying colonists westward to Sicily and southern Italy, eastward to the Black Sea's distant shores, southward to North Africa. At Cumae near Naples, Greeks establish their first western colony around 740 BCE. Syracuse rises on Sicily's eastern coast in 733 BCE, destined to rival Athens in power. Massalia, modern Marseille, appears on Gaul's Mediterranean coast around 600 BCE. From the Pillars of Heracles to the Crimean Peninsula, Greek cities multiply like seeds scattered across 1,000 miles of coastline. Each new foundation follows ritual precision. Colonists carry fire from their mother city's sacred hearth, establishing continuity across the wine-dark sea. They lay out streets in geometric grids, allocate farmland in equal plots, build temples to familiar gods in unfamiliar landscapes. Yet these colonies remain independent polis, bound to their mother cities by sentiment and trade, not political control. The Greek world becomes not an empire, but a constellation of autonomous city-states, sharing language, religion, and culture, while fiercely guarding their freedom. At home, the polis crystallizes into its mature form. Athens, Corinth, Thebes, Megara. Each governs itself, mints its own coins, worships its patron deity, fields its own hoplite army. Citizens gather in assemblies, though aristocrats still dominate. In many cities, ambitious strongmen, tyrants from the Greek tyrannos, seize power, often with popular support against entrenched nobility. Around 650 BCE, Cypselus overthrows Corinth's aristocratic Bacchiad clan, ruling without hereditary claim. His son Periander transforms Corinth into a commercial powerhouse, its black figure pottery exported across the Mediterranean. Sparta follows a different path. After conquering neighboring Messenia around 735 BCE and reducing its population to Helot serfdom, Sparta transforms itself into a military machine. Male citizens become full-time soldiers, trained from age 7 in communal barracks, eating at common messes, forbidden luxury or commerce. 2 hereditary kings share power with 5 annually elected ephors and a council of elders. The system sacrifices individual freedom for collective strength, creating Greece's most feared infantry. Athens struggles with internal strife. In 621 BCE, the lawgiver Draco codifies Athens' laws in writing, harsh penalties that give us the word, quote, zero, but fails to ease tensions between aristocrats and debt-enslaved commoners. In 594 BCE, the Athenians grant extraordinary powers to Solon, a poet and merchant of moderate views. He cancels debts, forbids enslavement for debt, establishes property-based political classes, and creates a council of 400 citizens. His reforms prevent revolution, but satisfy no faction completely. Meanwhile, Panhellenic sanctuaries create shared Greek identity, transcending political divisions. At Olympia, athletes compete every 4 years in Zeus's honor, and warring cities observe sacred truces. At Delphi, perched on Mount Parnassus's slopes, Apollo's oracle speaks through the Pythia priestess, and city-states build treasury houses to display their wealth. These sanctuaries become stages where Greeks recognize themselves as Hellenes, distinct from Barbaroi, those who speak unintelligible barbar sounds. Stone temples replace wooden structures. The Doric order emerges, fluted columns with simple capitals, painted terracotta decorations, sculptural groups in pediments. Kouros statues, rigid frontal, archaic smile, stand as grave markers and sanctuary dedications, borrowing Egyptian monumentality, but infusing it with emerging Greek naturalism. In workshops across the Greek world, potters perfect black figure technique, painting silhouetted figures on red clay, incising details with sharp tools. Athens transforms itself in ways no Greek city has dared. In 508 BCE, after the tyrant Hippias flees and aristocratic factions clash, Cleisthenes proposes something radical: democratia, rule by the demos, the people. The citizen body reorganizes into 10 new tribes, each mixing coastal, urban, and inland populations to break old clan loyalties. 500 citizens chosen by lot form the Boule Council, preparing business for the Ecclesia Assembly, where every male citizen votes directly on war, peace, and law. On the Nix Hill, a natural amphitheater carved into bedrock, 6,000 citizens gather to raise hands, their voices determining Athens' fate. To prevent tyranny's return, they institute ostracism. Once yearly, citizens scratch names onto pottery shards, and any man receiving 6,000 votes must leave Athens for 10 years. The ostraca pile up in the agora, democracy's insurance written on broken clay. Across the Aegean, the Persian Empire watches. Darius I rules from the Indus to the Nile, and in 490 BCE, his fleet crosses to punish Athens for supporting Ionian Greek rebels. 25,000 Persians land at Marathon, a coastal plain 26 miles northeast of Athens. The Athenian army, perhaps 10,000 hoplites in bronze breastplates, greaves, and helmets, carrying round shields and 8-foot spears, marches north. They form the phalanx, shields overlapping, spear points bristling forward like a bronze hedgehog. At dawn, they charge downhill, closing the distance before Persian archers can devastate their ranks. The phalanx crashes into Persian infantry, pushing them back towards the sea. By day's end, 6,400 Persians lie dead. 192 Athenians fall. A runner carries news to Athens, 26 miles at a sprint, and collapses after announcing victory. But Persia returns. In 480 BCE, Xerxes assembles perhaps 200,000 soldiers and crosses the Hellespont on a bridge of boats. At Thermopylae, a narrow coastal pass where the mountains meet the sea, Leonidas of Sparta positions 7,000 Greeks, including his personal guard of 300 Spartans. For 2 days they hold, the pass so narrow that Persian numbers mean nothing against the Greek phalanx. Then a traitor reveals a mountain path. Leonidas sends most Greeks away, but remains with his 300, fighting to the last man, buying time for Greek evacuation. Athens empties. Women, children, and elders flee to Salamis Island, while Xerxes' army burns the Acropolis, toppling temples and smashing statues. In the narrow straits between Salamis and the mainland, 380 Greek triremes face perhaps 600 Persian ships. The Greek vessels, sleek, fast, each rowed by 170 oarsmen in 3 tiers, lure the Persian fleet into confined waters where superior numbers become a liability. Bronze rams punch through enemy hulls, oars tangle and snap, Persian ships collide in the chaos. By sunset, the Persian fleet retreats in ruins. The following year at Plataea, Greek hoplites destroy Persia's land army. The threat passes, and Greece stands free, forged in fire into something new, a civilization that proved free citizens fighting for their own soil could defeat the world's greatest empire. Victory's aftermath reshapes the Aegean. In 478 BCE, Athens organizes island cities into the Delian League, ostensibly a defensive alliance against Persian return, but tribute flows to Athens, and the navy that saved Greece becomes an instrument of empire. Silver from Laurion mines funds triremes that patrol trade routes, ensuring Athenian dominance. By 454 BCE, the League treasury moves from Delos to Athens' Acropolis, a symbolic transformation from alliance to subjugation. In 461 BCE, Pericles emerges as Athens' guiding voice, not king or tyrant, but elected strategos year after year, shaping policy through persuasion in the assembly. Under his leadership, democracy reaches its fullest expression. Every male citizen over 18 can speak and vote in the ecclesia, which meets 40 times yearly on the Nix Hill. Councils of 500, chosen by lot, prepare legislation. Jurors, 6,000 citizens annually, staff courts, paid 3 obols daily so even poor men can serve. This is direct democracy, chaotic and vital, where fishermen debate foreign policy alongside aristocrats. The Acropolis rises anew. In 447 BCE, Pericles proposes rebuilding the temples Persia destroyed, using League funds. The Parthenon's foundations are laid. A Doric temple to Athena, 228 feet long, surrounded by 46 columns, carved from Pentelic marble that glows golden in sunlight. Architects Ictinus and Callicrates design optical refinements invisible to casual observation. Columns bulge slightly at their centers. Corner columns stand thicker than others. The entire platform curves upward imperceptibly at its center. These adjustments correct visual distortions, making straight lines appear straight to human eyes. By 438 BCE, Phidias completes the cult statue within. Athena Parthenos, 40 feet tall, her skin of ivory plates, her armor and clothing sheathed in removable gold, worth 40 talents, a shield carved with mythological battles. Below the Acropolis, the theater of Dionysus fills each spring. 15,000 spectators crowd semicircular stone benches as 3 tragedians compete, each presenting 3 tragedies and a satyr play. Sophocles premieres Antigone, Oedipus Rex, dramas exploring fate, justice, and human limitation. Euripides challenges convention with Medea, giving voice to female rage and foreign perspectives. Citizens watch from dawn to dusk, voting afterward for the victor. Theatre is religious festival, civic education, and communal catharsis merged. In the Agora, Socrates walks barefoot among the colonnades, stopping citizens to ask uncomfortable questions. What is justice? Can virtue be taught? His dialectic method, question upon question, exposing contradictions, makes enemies among those who claim wisdom. But young men gather around him, learning to think critically, to examine assumptions, to pursue truth through reason rather than tradition. The long walls, completed in 457 BCE, connect Athens to Piraeus harbor 4 miles away, parallel fortifications creating a protected corridor. Within this defensive system, Athens becomes impregnable as long as the navy controls the sea. Triremes crowd Piraeus' 3 harbors, their bronze rams gleaming, their crews drilling constantly. Grain ships from the Black Sea unload Scythian wheat. Merchant vessels bring timber from Macedon, papyrus from Egypt, slaves from Thrace. Red figure pottery reaches its artistic peak. In workshops around the Agora, painters like the Achilles painter create vessels where black backgrounds make red clay figures seem to glow. Mythological scenes cover craters and amphorae, gods, heroes, symposia, executed with anatomical precision and emotional subtlety, impossible in earlier black figure technique. By 431 BCE, Athens dominates the Aegean culturally, economically, and militarily. The Parthenon stands complete, its sculptural program depicting Athenian superiority and divine favor. Philosophy, drama, architecture, and democratic governance reach a balance that later ages will call classical, meaning exemplary, the standard against which all else is measured. But perfection breeds envy, and Sparta watches Athens' growing power with mounting alarm. Dawn breaks over Athens around 450 BCE, and the city stirs with rhythms unchanged for generations. In the Agora, merchants arrive before first light, arranging fish from Piraeus on marble slabs, stacking amphorae of Thasian wine, spreading Megarian garlic and onions across wooden tables. Slaves carry water from the Eniakrunos fountain, 9 bronze lion heads spilling into stone basins, balancing terracotta hydriae on their shoulders. Citizens emerge from courtyard houses, wrapped in woolen hematia against the morning chill, heading toward the colonnades where friends gather daily to exchange news and gossip. The typical Athenian house reveals itself only through its doorway. Blank exterior walls of sun-dried brick conceal interior courtyards where domestic life unfolds. The andron, the men's dining room, occupies the ground floor's finest space, its walls painted with geometric borders, its floor paved with pebble mosaics. Here, 7 or 9 couches, always odd numbers, line the walls for symposia. Elite men recline on cushions, propped on left elbows, drinking wine mixed with water from craters in ratios debated seriously. Hetairae, educated courtesans, provide entertainment and conversation denied to respectable wives. Upstairs in the gynekeion, women manage households, supervise slaves, weave wool on weighted looms, and rarely venture beyond the courtyard except for religious festivals. The gymnasium sprawls near the city walls, its colonnaded courtyard surrounding a sandy palaestra where young men train naked, their skin gleaming with olive oil. They practice wrestling, boxing, javelin throwing, and discus, but also rhetoric and geometry. Physical and intellectual training intertwined. Slaves called paidagogoi escort boys to lessons, carrying their writing tablets and lyres. The ideal citizen balances a beautiful body with a cultivated mind. In the Kerameikos district, pottery workshops cluster near clay deposits. Potters center vessels on wheels turned by apprentices, building forms that will be fired twice. First oxidizing to red, then reducing with green wood smoke to create glossy black slip where applied. Painters work with brushes of single hairs, depicting symposia, athletics, warfare, mythology with anatomical precision on amphoras, craters, kylixes. These vessels travel across the Mediterranean, carrying Athenian wine, oil, and cultural prestige. Religious festivals punctuate the calendar. Every 4 years, the great Panathenaea draws all Athens to the Acropolis. A procession forms at dawn. Magistrates, cavalry, hoplites, maidens carrying offerings, men leading cattle for sacrifice. They ascend the sacred way, pass through the propylaea, and present a new peplos, woven by selected girls over 9 months, to Athena's ancient wooden statue. 100 cattle die at the great altar, their meat distributed to citizens in a rare communal feast. Slavery makes this leisure possible. Perhaps 100,000 slaves labor in Athens around 430 BCE, in silver mines at Lorient, in workshops, in homes. They are war captives, purchased foreigners, children of slaves. Some skilled slaves live independently, paying their masters a portion of earnings. Most remain property, essential and invisible. At Piraeus, the harbor bustles with maritime commerce. Grain ships from the Black Sea unload wheat that feeds the city. Athens' rocky soil cannot sustain its population. Outbound vessels carry painted pottery, silver coins, olive oil in standardized amphorae stamped with official seals. Trireme crews, 170 rowers per ship, mostly poor citizens earning wages, practice maneuvers in the harbor, maintaining the naval power that secures Athens' empire and its grain supply. This is the machinery of daily life that supports democracy, philosophy, and drama, the unglamorous foundation of classical civilization's greatest achievements. The machinery sustains Athens until hubris fractures it. In 431 BCE, Sparta declares war, launching 27 years of devastation that bleeds Greece dry. Pericles crowds the countryside population behind the long walls, but plague arrives in 430 BCE, bodies pile in the streets, funeral pyres burn day and night, social order collapses. Pericles himself dies in 429 BCE, coughing blood. Athens fights on, driven by demagogues and desperate ambition. In 415 BCE, the assembly votes to invade Sicily, dispatching 200 ships and thousands of hoplites to besiege Syracuse. The expedition ends in catastrophe, Athenian forces trapped in Syracuse's harbor, ships burned, 7,000 survivors enslaved in stone quarries, where most die of thirst and exposure. Sparta occupies Decelia in Attica, cutting Athens from its silver mines. In 404 BCE, starving Athens surrenders. Spartan-backed oligarchs demolish the long walls to flute music, briefly abolishing democracy. Yet even as political power crumbles, intellectual life intensifies. Plato, who witnessed Athens' defeat, founds his academy in 387 BCE in an olive grove outside the city walls. Students study geometry, astronomy, dialectic, seeking eternal truths beyond the chaos of politics. Aristotle, Plato's student, later tutors a Macedonian prince named Alexander. Philosophy flourishes precisely because the polis system has failed. Macedon, long dismissed as semi-barbarous, rises under Philip II. At Chaeronea in 338 BCE, his phalanx, infantry wielding 18-foot sarissa pikes, crushes the combined armies of Athens and Thebes. Greek independence ends. Philip's son Alexander inherits the throne in 336 BCE at age 20 and launches the conquest that spreads Greek culture across 3 continents. By 323 BCE, when Alexander dies in Babylon at 32, Greek becomes the language of administration from Egypt to Afghanistan. New cities, Alexandria, Antioch, Seleucia, blend Greek theaters and gymnasia with Eastern temples and bazaars. Hellenistic art abandons classical restraint for emotion and movement. The Laocoon writhes in agony. The Nike of Samothrace surges forward, wind-whipping stone drapery. Rome conquers Greece in 146 BCE, but the conquerors become captives. Greek tutors educate Roman children. Greek columns frame Roman temples. Greek philosophy shapes Roman law. Cicero writes in Latin but thinks in Greek categories. The legacy endures. Democratia becomes democracy. The alphabet spreads worldwide. Olympic Games revive in 1896. Doric and Ionic columns support parliaments on every continent. The questions Socrates asked in the Agora, what is justice, what is virtue, how should we live, remain unanswered, still shaping how civilizations understand themselves. Greece fell, but its ideas conquered the world. Thank you for journeying through ancient Greece with us. If you enjoyed this exploration of the civilization that shaped the West, subscribe to ensure you don't miss our next deep dive into history's greatest cultures.